Imagine, if you will, a 19-year-old male who's just left home. He was raised by a family that spoiled him and told him that he was God's gift to the universe, particularly his mother. Um, and that his mother also told him that any woman would be utterly privileged to have him as her husband, right? We all know that some males are raised this way, right? And he gets out into the world and he discovers just how problematic being raised like that is because it doesn't match reality. Say he's not very big, he's not very healthy, he's not very attractive, but he's been told repeatedly while his character is forming that he's fabulous, right? And reality has just smacked him right in the face. We all know that that's part of what goes into creating an incel, right? Or somebody like that, maybe just a misogynist or whatever. And he also has dealings with other males as he grows up. And that, too, that doesn't match the reality or what he thinks is the reality that he's been taught at home. He gets bullied. He gets pushed around. He gets laughed at by all the chads, right? All the jocks, the taller, more handsome, richer, more confident, more athletic, more, I don't know, whatever. Now, he joins the army for whatever weird reason, and he ends up being a platoon sergeant a few years later in charge of 20 chads, right? And remember what kind of a guy we're talking about here. How's he going to behave with those chads that are now in his charge, right? Maybe he's even sought out the job of drill sergeant for that very reason, right? He wants to have these people in his power because he wouldn't be human if he didn't, right? That's the most human thing in the world is, the Napoleon complex, right? We won't even get into his attitudes toward women. Hopefully he just stays away from women and doesn't do anything harmful towards them, right? Let's just assume that that's the case. But he makes the Chads' lives hell, but he likes making their lives hell. He will never be one of them. But the thing is, that's the strange thing about happiness or fulfillment or whatever goal you set for yourself in life, what it is ultimately that you want. I'm of the view that it isn't really that we want to be happy. What we want is we want the feeling of increase of happiness. Because happiness quickly turns into boredom. But if we feel that our happiness is constantly increasing, or if we feel that it's on the increase, we feel really good, right? Like even if you're overall unhappy, but you feel your happiness is increasing, you're okay with that, strangely enough, right? The same thing as if you're very happy, but you feel a sense in your happiness decreasing, you're not okay with that. So this guy has figured out a way to increase his happiness all the time, to have this sudden increase. A sudden increase in power as well, vitality, confidence, etc. Where does he get it from? He gets it from kicking the Chads right in the butt, doesn't he? They have to say, yes, Sergeant. They have to drop and give him 20 push-ups whenever he demands that they do it, right? Wonderful, right? And we all know that our Chad, or rather our possible putative or latent incel, really likes sticking it to those chads, right? Now apply that to ideas of trauma, wokeness, oppression, bullying, marginalization, stuff like this, right? Why do we idealize people who are marginalized? Or we idealize some of them, but some of them we do not, right? Nobody's going to idealize our incel, right? People are going to hate him, especially women, right? They're not going to feel any pity for him at all. In fact, people are going to like watching him suffer, right? Okay, well, he understands that, and he likes watching other people suffer too, so he does it, right? All right. Why do we think that anyone else who has been subject to bullying, to oppression, to marginalization is going to behave any differently from our incel? I'm not saying that every guy who is actually subjected to this becomes an incel, by the way. Absolutely not. A lot of guys, I'm sure, they get out into the world, they learn a quick lesson, they go back, they give their family shit and say, I wish you hadn't done that to me. And then they get on with their lives with their family, right? But a lot of people, or a critical mass of them, aren't so nice at all, right? And some of them are out and out lethal, right? Well, they got that way all because of things that they were subjected to their entire lives. Our incel or our, I don't know, 97-pound weakling didn't create himself, did he? Neither did somebody who was bullied all their life, right? Who is now gone woke or something like this. The Romans said, and I believe this, or believe it, I'm convinced that it's got a great deal of truth in it, that there's no worse master than an ex-slave. And we always have to bear this in mind whenever we are in a power discussion or negotiation with anyone who has been bullied, marginalized, oppressed, or whatever. You've got to bear that in mind. Their experiences may very well have turned them into a monster, not a martyr. Choose life.